Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 18th Adhyaya, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, and Sri Krishna is telling us about how each and every work, whether good or whether bad, whether ethical or unethical, righteous or unrighteous, moral or immoral, nyayam va viparitam, any work, how that work a person starts doing it using the body, mind and speech. The body, speech and mind, the sharira, vak, mana. Using these three resources available. Using these three resources available to the body as such. How a person starts performing any work with the 5 factors. Now, whether that work can be good or bad, but the cause of that work getting done is the 3 resources and these 5 factors which Sri Krishna enumerated, listed out and explained to us in the 14th Shloka. The 14th Shloka, Sri Krishna told us about the 5 factors. The body, the ego as such, the doer, the feeling of I am doing it, that karta, and then various organs that we have at our disposal. These different kind of entities attached to the body. And then vividhascha prathak cheshta, then those small, tiny operations which get the whole work done as one work. Every work has got little bits and pieces of operations within its fold. So those prathak cheshta, and then finally daivam, that wonderful jivatman which is dwelling inside us. These 5 are the causes for getting any work done. And Sri Krishna in the previous shloka that we read, he explained to us that how a person starts performing any action, whether good or bad, using the 3 resources available to every person. Sharira vang manobhir yat karma prarabhate naraha. Using these 3 resources, the body, the speech, the thought and the mind. Using these 3 resources, whichever karma, whichever work, whichever action a person starts performing, nyayam va viparitam va, whether righteous, whether good, whether ethical, whether moral, or otherwise, nyayam va viparitam va, panchayate tasya hetavaha. These 5 are the causes for getting any work done. You should never have any wrong notion as such that I only am doing the work. There are so many factors involved under the umbrella of this I. This I is just one aspect. If other 4 aspects are not there, any one of the other 4 aspects are missing, I am the doer is there, fine. That is with each and every one of us. That ego is so prominent in each and every us. the feeling of karta is so prominent in each and every one of us. But if those four factors are not available, no work can be done then. And if those three resources are also not powerful enough to do the work, the thought is not clear, the mind is unable to pick up, grasp that thought, and unable to transfer that thought, deliver the plan of action to the organs, to the body, no work can be done. So Sri Krishna says, those are the things, how every work gets done. Now, how the Atman is connected with all these activities. Now, Sri Krishna has referred to Daivam, but there is something even bigger than the Daivam. Now, what happens is people get into another wrong notion that it is the supreme power which is getting the done through me. So the ego is, of course, but when the blame is to be put on, then they start talking about there is something higher than me. That is what Sri Krishna says, that tatraivaṁ sati kartāram ātmānaṁ kevalaṁ tuyah paśhyaty akṛita-buddhitvān na sa paśhyati durmatiḥ. Sri Krishna says, that being so, tatraivaṁ sati. That being so, Sri Krishna has told about the work getting done by the five, because of the five causes and the three resources available with each and every one of us: the mind, the speech, and the body. The speech, mind, and body in the terms of the association of chain. So, with these five causes and the three resources available, people start working, whether it is a good work or a bad work. Now Sri Krishna says, tatraivaṁ sati. That being so, kartāram ātmānaṁ kevalaṁ tuyah. That the agent, the real doer, is no one else but the Paramatman. That kind of thought. Paśhyati akṛita-buddhitvān. Paśhyati, the see. Who sees such kind of thing, that it is the Paramatman that is getting all these things done. Paśhyati akṛita-buddhitvān. Akrita is kind of untrained understanding. Akrita is half-cooked. Akrita is not matured enough. That is immature kind of thing. That immature kind of thinking, the immature kind of understanding. Paśhyat akṛita-buddhitvān sa paśhyati durmatiḥ. That is how the durmatiḥ, the person with the perverted intelligence, sees that it is the Paramatman who is doing it. People start doing everything. If it is bad, onus is on the Paramatman, they say. So Sri Krishna says, these are the type of people with the perverted intelligence. Durmatiḥ, people whose senses have gone haywire. Such people, they put the blame on the Paramatman for anything wrong being done. They say, oh, I have not done anything. It is the Paramatman who is doing it. Sri Krishna says, those are the unfortunate durmati, those are the unfortunate people with the perverted mind. They think that way. That being so, the man of perverse mind, the man of immature mind, who on account of his imperfect understanding looks upon the self, the absolute, the Satchidananda as the agent, as the actual doer, he does not see at all. And he can never have the real picture of how a karma is getting done. If it is a bad karma, oh. Now, recently I shared one of the posts with our devotee friends and families, where my Guruma, most revered Prabhrashika Ajay Prana Mataji, she had given how this kind of durmati type of people that Sri Krishna has told, how they use the logic to their utmost ill benefit. They are doing wrong, but then they try to justify their wrong deeds giving this kind of justification. Now, that the example she had given was of the Duryodhana. Now, Duryodhana, he had inflicted all the wrongs on Pandavas, and he had tried to destroy the Pandavas even so many times. And when then actually the moment came that now we have to wage the war of this Mahabharata. That is why we are here now on the field of battlefield of Kurukshetra. So when Sri Krishna asked Duryodhana that why you are doing all this, these evil deeds, these wretched deeds, then Duryodhana, he is considering himself to be a man of knowledge. He is trying to justify his unrightful activities to Sri Krishna. Duryodhana tells Sri Krishna, what can I do, Sri Krishna? The Lord is doing it. I am just an instrument. Now see, the wicked, the unrighteous people take use of this kind of attitude. They take use of this kind of escape in justifying their wrong deeds. And that is what Sri Krishna is exactly telling here in this 16th shloka. That the men of perverted intellect, the men who have absolutely no understanding of what is right, what is wrong, they only see that the Paramatman is doing everything. I am not to be held responsible for whatever I have done. That, Sri Krishna says, is absolutely the wrong notion of the people. Doing the wicked things, doing the evil things, doing the things which are not called for, which are not accepted as per the scriptural injunctions. So this is Sri Krishna's caution again, that we may do good or bad, but then don't put the blame on the Supreme Being. The Paramatman is beyond any action. It is only the Jivatman. It is only the Jivatman which then gets embodied, because Jivatman wants to experience this Leela of the Lord in the form of this creation. And therefore, that is the reason that Jivatman has allowed itself to get engaged in this prison of blood and flesh and bones. Jivatman has consented itself to be imprisoned, to be encaged, to be enmeshed in this mesh, to get embodied in this free-will body for that matter. Now, where is the status of Jivatman, the part of the Paramatman? And what is the status of this body, which is so fragile, which is so temporary, which is so destructible? But still, Jivatman enters the body, takes the body, and starts experiencing this creation, to have that experience. And then, since it is the Jivatman has embodied, the body has to work. And Sri Krishna has told us this is how the body works. Because of the 5 causes and the 3 resources, people start doing good or bad. And then finally they say, oh, the ultimate doer is the Paramatman. I am not to be held responsible for what I have done. But Sri Krishna says that doesn't happen. The fruits of action, the karma phala, at the drop of the body, they get attached to that entity. They get added to our book of accounts. We cannot run away from it, saying it is the Lord Paramatman who has done this work. It is, after all, this body with these 10 organs, the 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, with this my body, mind, intellect, with this body, mind, intellect complex, that we have done this work. We cannot just transfer that responsibility onto the Paramatman. So Sri Krishna has understood the tricky nature of his creation, for that matter, his own creation. Sri Krishna has fully understood, and therefore Sri Krishna says it is the durmatiḥ. It is the durmatiḥ with the akṛita-buddhi, the evil-minded, with immature intellect, they keep on saying that it is the Paramatman who has done the work. It is the absolute imperfect, immature understanding, immature intellect of these people with the perverse mind. So again, I mean, it can be said that that example of the motor car. Motor car can be used for anything. That is true. Now, are the parts of motor car responsible? No, that is not the case. Who is ultimately responsible for the functioning of that motor car? The person who is using that motor car. Now, who is that person? Is that person the Paramatman? No. Now, there is a difference between that Paramatman and the Daivam, the fifth element, the presiding deity that Sri Krishna has spoken of in the 14th Shloka. That Daivam, that presiding deity, the Jivatman is the driver. Driver wants to experience, to take a ride in this motor car. Therefore, driver is using this car. Now, to what purpose? It is not the fault of Paramatman if it is used for the bad purpose. Or it is also not the credit of the Paramatman if it is used for the good purpose. The Jivatman is riding the car, the driver is riding the car. So, the Paramatman is not to be held responsible. And since the Jivatman is responsible for driving this car, Jivatman has to ultimately face the consequences. Once this body is gone, another car. And then the driver takes another car and starts moving around, starts doing good and bad. And then at the end of it, and as the car breaks down, as the car has to be discarded, as the car has to be scrapped, then the driver has to look for another car. Now, depending on how the driver has run, how the drive has been, the driver will get another car. If it is a good drive, driver will get a wonderful car. If it is a bad drive, driver will get a lower, inferior type of vehicle. Okay, first you gain expertise on running this vehicle. Do some good things, then you will get a Mercedes-Benz. Till then, manage with the small, the Maruti 800. Manage with that. So this is what happens, Sri Krishna says. People immediately start blaming the Paramatman for whatever they are doing. So this is one very important teaching that we have to always keep in mind. We are doing it. We are responsible for it. All said and done. Although we are just an instrument. We are instrument in the hands of that Jivatman, yes. But we have to take the onus. We are the part of those 5 causes that Sri Krishna has enlisted. Moreover, this body, the mind and the thought, they are the primal resources available to get everything done. We cannot shun the responsibility. We have to bear the consequences of whatever things we are doing. Whether we are doing the nyaya things or viparita. Whether we are doing the righteous things or otherwise, whether we are doing the ethical things or otherwise, where we are doing the purest of the pure things or otherwise, the consequences have to be borne by us. And we should never ever forget that fruits of all these actions, they are going to come to us when we shun this body and there is a time to take up another vehicle, another motor car. So let us keep it in mind and try always to get engaged in doing nyaya karma, the righteous work, rather than getting involved in viparita, the otherwise. Let us forget about otherwise. Let us forget about the wrong deeds, the wretched deeds, the evil deeds, the unethical deeds, the immoral deeds. Now that we are on this path of the liberation, let us get into nyaya activities as instructed by Sri Krishna and understand how each and every work gets done. How we are part and parcel of every work, although we are just instruments in the hands of that presiding deity of the Daivam. Let us not get befooled by that Maya. And Stick to our principles. Stick to what the Jivatman ultimately wants. Stick to the instructions of the intellect, which is telling us, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. So that is Sri Krishna's teaching in this 16th shloka of the 18th adhyaya, the Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.